What's going on, guys? Good to have you on, good to have you in. We're going to go ahead and get started today. Today's the 17th. We're still, still kind of, still kind of waiting on my account to get settled here. Alright, so we're going to go to change documents. 157, boom. Alright, guys, today we're up pretty big again today. Let's go ahead and leave the page. Yesterday we were up about, I think it was like $90,000 yesterday. I'm live going over today's Alright, give me a second, guys. Options. Hope you guys traded well out there. I'm gonna set everything up on social media quick, as I always do. Alright, then we're gonna go here. I hope you guys had a great trading day out there. Definitely a lot of opportunities today. A lot of opportunities. You know, today was one of the hotter days of the month, I think. And, I mean, I missed out on a whole section of ideas that could have panned out today. That's the reality of it. You know, I missed out on, you know, all the IPO craze going on. Let's see here. Alright, then we're going to go. Okay, so what's today? WNW is a runner. YGMZ was a runner. SCPS was a runner. Then you got to go with NXTD. And then what else? We'll do. There was one other one we had today. Let's just do LKNCY, because that was when we crushed today. Alright, guys. So yeah, today definitely was a great trading day. You know, again, I don't have access to the challenge account, and so yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, guys, there is tons and tons of opportunities out there today, no questions asked. Okay, no questions. There was so much opportunity between IPOs, between everything going on. It was absolutely nuts, guys. Absolutely nuts. And, you know, there's going to be more opportunities going forward. Now, you know, today was a great trading day. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, there is tons and tons of opportunities usually every single day. But here's the thing. I missed out on all the IPO craze. I missed out on basically all the crazy IPOs, all the crazy this and that. You know, any of the IPOs were going hundreds of percentages with plenty of liquidity. I missed out on all that. Basically, all I made my money on today was two stocks. LKNCY and NXTD. Other than that, wasn't really a lot going on. The exciting news too, guys, is I've already opened up a new brokerage account, and it will be available tomorrow. I was waiting to open this brokerage account until 2021, but this account needed to be opened up before then because Etrade kicked me off. That now makes two brokerages that kick me off, and I thought about a lot of things, you know, and here's what I've come up with a lot of people trying to help me. You know, what could they possibly be kicking me off for? The worst part is they're not giving me any explanation, and they never will. You know, Thinkorswim, I called them 5 times. Just give me a reason so I can make sure I'm not doing it anymore. Give me one reason so I can just say, hey, you know what, I won't do that again. And even if you kick me off, then the next platform I won't do it. Or whatever. And then this platform, I asked again. I said, hey, can you please give me a reason? And he goes, you know what, man? You're a great trader. And this is quote for quote. Obviously you're doing good things. You're a great trader. I can see that. I wish I could keep you because you're doing a lot of business with us. But here's the thing. It's up to the higher ups. And so, it is what it is. I'm excited to move on to the next brokerage, that I'm moving on towards. This brokerage is the best one yet, and I can't wait to announce, who I'm using. But for right now, guys, it's again, I've been saying this all day. You could try as hard as you want to hold me down, to keep me back from trading, but guess what? I'm going to find a way, okay? And what did I do? I traded out of my longer-term Vanguard account today. I traded out of my Vanguard account, which you can see on the top here. These are Vanguard orders. I bought 250,000 shares in Vanguard. Can't even believe I did that. At 123.2 execution price. So about $300,000 worth of NXTD, and I locked it up at 150, 155, and 160 in my Vanguard. So I made about roughly $80,000 on that trade. And then another 160,000 in my inherited IRA. I played LKNCY on this one. So out of those two accounts, we're close to about $250,000 in profits on that. And they can try as hard as they want, but here's the thing: I'll be back and be better than ever. And even though I haven't had my E-Trade account. Even though I haven't had my day trading account, I literally, yesterday we made about 80 to 90,000 in the inherited IRA, and today we're back at it with another 160,000 in the inherited IRA and another 80,000 in my long-term portfolio. Those are going to be short-term capital gains that I have to pay at the end of the year. That's fine, but I'm not going to miss out on opportunities. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find a way to trade. I'm going to find a way to be the trader that I am, because the reality is, at the end of the day, here's what I think happened. I think that since I'm on margin, okay, I think that at the end of the quarter, they're like, you know what, I trade a lot in and out throughout every day. And, it's a lot of risk for them to take me on, because technically it's like the bank's money, right? Like, I'm using their money. The margin is their money, and they don't want me losing that, I thought, maybe they're trying to trade against me and they're not fast enough, so they're losing money all the time. Then I thought maybe it's because I pull profits all the time. And I know it's not any kind of manipulation, because I don't alert any of my buys or sells anywhere. I know that I'm not even going to name off all the chat rooms that actually do that and create tens of millions of dollars in buying pressure towards a stock that has a lot of movement from those stocks. I'm not even going to name any of those chat rooms. And by the way, that's completely legal. I don't even do any of that. So I'm starting to think like, okay, what could it be? I was thinking like, okay, maybe I pulled profits too much, and they think maybe it's like money laundering. I don't know. I'm trying to grab onto straws here, okay? All I'm asking though is to get some explanation. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. I don't put any bids in. I don't do any of that, okay? I don't limit buy. I don't spoof bids. I don't do any of that, okay? And at the same time, guys, it's so frustrating, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, what is the worst things that you could do, right? And I'm like, okay, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Okay, I'm so confused. So then I start drawing on like, okay, well, is it because I'm, have a big account size? No, because there's so many people that have that. Is it because I pull a lot of profits? Maybe it's because I'm pulling profits every single day, and that might, look weird. I don't know, but what I think's happening is is in my personal opinion, I think that I'm using their margin, right? I'm using their money, and they see me buying and selling a lot of different things with a lot of capital at one time, and they might think that, I'm too much of a risk for them. I'm too much risk for them to handle, because I'm using their money. What's going on, Servos? No, what's going on, Eros? I'm using their money, and, what's going on, Clark? And at the same time, JC, what's up? At the same time, that kind of creates a risk for them to be like, okay, well, do we want to take that risk on? Because what's going on, Jillian? Because at the end of the day, as I'm trading with them, are they going to say, hey, is this too much risk for us to handle? This guy's trading, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 and churning it all day long, right? And then, what happens if he loses it all? Well, maybe I don't know. I have no idea. I'm starting to draw blanks at this point. But for whatever the case, I think it's just I'm too much risk for a margin account to handle. Now, I've never ever been booted off any cash accounts ever. You know, my inherited IRA completely cash, my long-term account completely cash, and I've traded like that in those accounts. So I think it has something to do with the margin, okay? But at the end of the day, I don't care, because guess what? I'm coming back. This brokerage is going to be better than ever. I'm so excited, guys. I was going to wait till 2021 to start with this brokerage, but you know, things shifted. Grind Wheezy, you like my video series guide? Awesome, man. Things shifted. Obviously, you know, I don't have E-Trade anymore. So now we're going to move to these about 2-3 weeks ahead of time. But I am so excited to announce the brokerage that I'm going to be using, and also the opportunities for 2021. I have high goals for 2021. More than likely, I'm going to continue to use the same challenge. And you know, Ariel has been one to push me to maybe, instead of restarting your challenge, because I've done 1,000 to 1,000,000 3 different times already, and I think it's time to move past that. And so, more than likely, I'm going to keep this $1,000 account challenge rolling past 5 million. And my goal by 2021, you know, it might be 30 million. You know, I want to try and do 2 million a month for 12 months. And I know that sounds crazy, and I know it's a big goal, but that's, you know, at the beginning of the year, I thought 1K to 5 million, you know, was kind of a big push, kind of a big, you know, like, hey, can I actually do this, right? And I always want to push my, you know, my goals to the next level. And over the past, you know, I've realized stress-free trading for me these days is about, I would say comfortably about 45,000 a day. Comfortably. Not trying to push too far. Now, as I go on throughout the month, I'm thinking by 2021 in maybe let's say October, or let's say September, maybe even August, or maybe even hopefully July, I'm really starting to push the gun. So maybe in the first, you know, 6 months, I'm like, you know, maybe we're at 60 to 70 every day, right? And then once I get towards, you know, July, hopefully I'm pushing, you know, I don't know, 100 a day. You know, I don't know. And I know these numbers are crazy, but let's get back to the reality of things, guys. This all started from $1,000, okay? I want you guys to be clear on that. The P&Ls that, okay, well, the P&Ls you're seeing today have not. No, those are, I mean, all those accounts are basically all from my investments throughout, or from my trading throughout my career. You know, my Vanguard accounts from my trading throughout my career, and my inherited IRA, well, it was my mom's, when she passed away, it was my mom's money. But I've been trying to compound that. But I want you guys to be inspired. Now, I realize that I have big goals, and I have huge goals, and I know it sounds like crazy numbers, and I'm pushing for the stars and all this, but here's the thing. When I started trading, okay, I literally started trading, and I lost about half my net worth. And that taught me the most important thing out of trading that ever could have been taught. And it doesn't matter what anybody says to you, any mentor you have, any guru that helps you, any trader that helps you, any books you read, until you've actually lost half your net worth, okay? You don't truly know what it's like to have your back against the wall. You don't truly know what it's like. Oh, I'm not on TikTok. Damn it. Why am I not on TikTok? And I have to go. I screwed that up. That's my bad. But, you know, you truly have to, you know, go through that to really get an understanding of, like, okay, this is reality. And now I know I'm starting to get to a point where, I mean, I've known this. You know, I can quit forever and probably live a great life and never have to worry about anything the rest of my life. Okay, I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed. I'm very, very, you know, I don't take it for granted at all. I make sure that I never do. But that's just the reality where I'm at in my trading career. Now, I switched the chapter in my life to spend time with you guys. I switched the chapter in my life from, okay, I need to make a living. Okay, I need to, you know, become somewhat wealthy. Okay, now it's time for you guys to get my full attention. And sure, I could be off doing my own thing and trading behind closed doors, and you guys would never know me, right? You guys would never know who I am, what kind of strategies I have, what kind of trading plans do I have. You'd never see the big ass losses that I take, which I lost $183,000 just 3-4 days ago, 5 days ago, or the big ass wins that I have. Today I'm up over $250,000, or about $250,000. You know, my biggest trade in my trading career is over $500,000 trade. But it all starts from a process, a plan, and a strategy. And that's why I wanted to kind of give back to you guys is, my chat room is free. My YouTube is free. I try and give you guys the most explanation that I can to hopefully create a foundation for you guys, okay? A idea of, I know that there's probably, almost 200 of you across all social media platforms right now live, okay? And that's not that many. You're only 200 people in the world, but you guys are putting your time in to understand and to try and figure out how you're going to better yourself in your life, How are you going to financially create financial freedom? How are you going to better your sleep? How are you going to better your diet? How are you going to better your life in general, right? And the reality is you need to take life and just make every day better than yesterday. And I know that I use that a lot, right? I know that I use that saying a lot, but that's probably going to be my saying for the next 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70, 80, who knows if I hit 100. It's probably going to be my saying because if you truly make every day better than yesterday and actually mean it, don't just say it, but actually mean what you're saying, I really believe that you guys are going to create a great life for yourself, whether it be financially, whether it be family life, whether it be friends life, whether it be socially, whether it be, going to getting good sleep, whether it just be creating a positive life for yourself, right? And so, that being said, I want you guys to understand that, understand that, it doesn't all come at once. It doesn't all just happen in a flick of an eye, right? It happens over time. I didn't just start making millions of dollars out of nowhere, I've slowly scaled up. I've slowly lost half my net worth. I slowly gained it back. I then slowly took 1,000 into $1 million on used stock trade. What was it? Over 3 years ago now. Okay. I slowly took a Robinhood account, 1,000 into $700,000, right? And now I've taken 1,000 into 4.76 million in 253 business days, and I'm slowly growing that, right? But here's the thing: you gotta have a plan, a process, and a strategy, and you have to understand that this stuff takes time. And I'll say this: make every day better than yesterday, and make sure to study. Don't piggyback my calls. Don't do. You might see me say overnight ideas, and you might see me say top watches and all this stuff. But here's the thing: sure, I'm pointing you towards a direction, but you still have to trade your plan. You still have to trade your process. You still have to understand what you're doing in order to make sure you're creating that opportunity for yourself. And all these people out there who do buy and sell alerts and they get millions of dollars to follow them up in their chat room subscriptions, I don't hate against any of them, because that's, the reality is some of those people are probably getting helped a lot, but then, they can be getting hurt. And in my mind, my opinion, I think that longer term, you need to be taught how to fish rather than to copy someone. And I don't know the correct saying. I'm saying that completely wrong. But anyways, guys, I do these rants probably every month or so, every 2 weeks. But, I was able to create this opportunity for myself today. And I'll go over those trades here in a second and why I did that. And that's why I wanted to come on here, is I cover my trades every day because I want you guys to learn from what I'm thinking, learn from what I'm doing, learn from how I'm doing it, because guess what? I want you to learn from my losses and my wins, right? But here we go. So here's my trades. Yeah, I realize I'm ranting, Samuel. I get that. I knew it. But better to teach a man to fish than just to give him a fish. Exactly. If you guys could subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate that. NormaxDualTrading.com would really appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Let me go over to what am I looking at here, guys? What am I trying to find? I'm trying to find LKNC. Okay. What? Okay, so you guys can see this had a nice gap. Okay, and yesterday I saw on social media someone had posted this thing had news. Was you able to get anything filled? Okay. Wow. Okay, so you could have gotten 16,000 shares at a 420 average. Hey, that's not too bad. 16,000 shares, what is that? So 1,000 shares is, $4,200. So 16,000 shares, that's about, $70,000 to $80,000 position you could have got there, about 420 a share. That's not bad. I didn't know when they were going to open or anything like that, and my plan was to buy out of the dips this morning. And what did I do? I bought all these dips. So this is probably the first OTC company that I've traded and made substantial profits. Not gonna lie. Maybe ever. I don't like to trade OTC very much. It trades differently. It's a totally different movement of a stock. I mean, it's not that much different, but it's still a little different. But I was buying, so I was actually, buying a little bit out of the gates. Then I was buying some on this dip. And I ended up with about a 533 average. So honestly, not the greatest of averages. Right about where VWAP is. Okay? Here's the thing, though. My confidence on this play was about 85-15 to 90-10 in my head. Now, to anyone's head, it's someone else. So I had about, how many shares did I have of this? I can't remember. It's about a $300,000, what beer are you drinking? What do you mean? I'm drinking a beer? I'm not drinking no beer. People on Instagram, and does it sound like I'm drinking a beer? But anyways, so you can see here, my average wasn't that good, but I was okay with holding being down because my confidence was so high. Matter of fact, I was actually really trying to buy more right in here on my Vanguard account, but Vanguard doesn't allow you to, Vanguard doesn't allow you to buy this for whatever reason, or buy OTC, so I was kind of stuck. It was unfortunate, but whatever. This thing recovered and then consolidated for the next 3 hours, and then this thing just took off. I literally said it, and I never really have too many elite swing trades, but I said it in the elite swing trade. Last time I alerted in elite swings was 10:30. I said LKNC just paid $180 million to settle for the reason they dropped from $30 to $5. That is nothing to the company watching this one for a multi-month, multi-year swing. 5065 was the average that I was looking at it. And so, yeah. So, I had mentioned this one multiple times today. Seeing that, not only are they able to trade again, but they're cleared. Once they pay this fraud charge, they're cleared. And that number seemed rather low to me. Okay? I thought it was going to be $500 million. Maybe more. And I thought, maybe they're going to shut down a lot of the stores. None of that news was there. It was a lower amount than what that I had thought, and they hadn't shut down anything. No delisting news, none of that. So immediately, this was one of my top watches for a swing trade, and I've traded this one before, but yeah, and I still have a little bit left of it, not a lot, and I sold too much of it. I meant to hold more overnight. I'm hoping we open in the 650s, 640s, or any kind of dip that I can get to maybe get some kind of entry out of it, because this thing just went parabolic into the close. And I sold everything in about 710 to 711 to 712-ish range. And this thing still went to 745. I was selling right on this candle right here, okay, before it took off even more. And you never know how this thing, I didn't think it was going to go 50% like that. That quickly. My plan was to hold this overnight. We closed at 575, 580, 590. Okay, I'm holding it overnight. We just went straight up like that, and I'm going to take it off. Now, if we gap, I still have a little left. I took out literally about 97, 98% of my shares. Now, if this thing gaps to 8 and goes to 9, which could very well happen, I'll look at it and be like, okay, I'm frustrated. But the thing is, this thing paid me so fast once we got out of this consolidation. I was like, okay. A dip I held through. And I sold a little piece right in this first. Then I held through this dip, and we closed strong. And I'm like, you know what? We've gone parabolic right into the close. It took us, about an hour to just go from, 570 up to 745. I mean, I don't know. I was just, that was too high, too much of an extension for me, and I took most of it off. Now, will it gap? I mean, I like the chart. Just from a chart perspective, we're over all the levels now. The last level was 734, so we're starting to close over that. Once we get over that, you have a clear sky breakout to 24. I'll probably end up playing this one again. I'm not going to lie, because that news to me was good, and not only that, the chart looks good. It's a gap fill, things of that nature. Okay? So there was that one, and then NXTD, I actually had an average of 72.2 from yesterday. So my average was this white line right there. That white line was my average in the stock. And I sold it off right in here, about a 120 average. Now here's the thing. I watched this thing get higher lows, and then I started to long it in my Vanguard because I said, you know what? If this thing does this kind of move, I'm going to be pissed if I missed out on it. So I got into my Vanguard account, and I went long, right on that candle. And then I literally got out, right on this push. And this thing went to 212. in my inherited IRA, I could have been up $500,000 just in my inherited. And then, but you know, I did not expect it to go to 212. Did not. And there's so many people saying this isn't related to Bitcoin, so I keep in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, it's running like it's related to Bitcoin. It's got the volume like it's related to Bitcoin, but people are saying it's not. And I honestly have looked it up a little, not much, because I'm trading so many different things. And I try to get home insurance today. I was doing a lot of things to keep myself. I mean, I just didn't have a trading account today. I just traded out of my inherited, but I wasn't actively trading. So you know, that is what it is. But I still missed out on a good portion, and this thing's recovering after hours. This is NXTD. NXTD is the ticker. And that's basically it. Those two trades basically was it for me today. You know, I got out of blue today. Blue was a swing trade that I'm in, but I got out of it. DPW kind of just, you know, I don't know. Got out of that. HGZGQ is what I'm watching. DNK is what I'm watching. Anyways, guys, if you guys could subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. Kevin Huang, I've been trading for about 3.5 years now. Nick Mish, I think they kicked you off because E-Trade kicked you off because there are more traders that they saw you making more than the traders they have working for their company. Yeah, I'm working on that. That's my next goal, is to start trading like some of these hedge funds. We're getting closer and closer, but we're not even close yet, you know. So, alrighty, guys. As always, subscribe to the NorMacNoTrading.com community. I'd really, really appreciate that. Whoever thumbs down the channel, I don't even know why you would thumbs it down, but if you're sour about me, that's your opinion. How long did it take to make your first 100K? 1K to 100K, it took me, I think, like 60 business days or something like that. 60 business days. If you guys want to check out the free chat room, link in the description below. If you want to check out my course, it teaches you my strategies and my processes. It taught me how to trade, turning my $1,000 into roughly $4.76 million. Check out the link in the description below. The brokerage that I recommend, and I recommend it because it pays you 2 free stocks, and it's a very nice brokerage. It's called Webull. I might not use it just because, you know, I'm going to be trading with a lot of money, and I want to have a lot of different opportunities available to me. I just like to recommend that because it's a great brokerage, and not only that, it pays you to sign up with them. And it's no joke. You can ask anybody on here. It does pay you up to $1,400 in free stocks. Scanners, check the link in the description below. And yeah, guys, I do have to head out. Okay, please like and subscribe to the channel. Click the icon later for my new videos. Cheers.